Baldies is one of those delightful games. It just has a really good vibe, and it's kind of vibe that just keeps you coming back. I mean, graphically, it certainly isn't pushing the Jaguar very hard. You know, I mean, it's nice and presentable, don't get me wrong, and it's got a really great art style, but it's just not very impressive from a technical standpoint. And the 5 different types of worlds, green, ice, circus, desert, and of course, hell, you know, they look good and presentable, but then, as I say, they're not really pushing the boundaries of what's capable on the Jaguar. So each of the settings has 20 levels, and obviously being 5 settings makes it for a total of 100 levels in the game. And apart from the path of the course and really not strictly necessary FMV sequence at the beginning, I'm pretty sure that is the only reason that this is on a CD and not a cartridge, is the sheer amount of levels. There really can't be much to load, as in levels, when you're playing the game, the disc actually stops doing anything at all, like it doesn't even spin. Going into a game will present you with a whole bunch of little people running around the map. These are the Baldies. At first they'll probably all be basic worker Baldies, but you can quickly change this. The primary resource in these games is the Baldies themselves. They can be changed into one of 4 classes: workers, who can be placed in houses to breed, builders, who build, funnily enough, and maintain houses, soldiers, who of course are your army, and scientists, who build traps to thwart the enemy, the Hairies. Baldies can easily change class by pressing either of the buttons on the sidebar or on the keypad, which is 1, 4, 7 or asterisk, but if you should have a nice overlay to keep things simple. You look down and quickly press a button, kind of like a PC hotkey. In fact, it's one of the only games I own so far that I really need an overlay for, and it's used well. And it is, as I say, done very well. It really sort of streamlines the experience rather than having to sort of, you know, move the D-pad all the way over and up to the section on the bar, and it kind of makes it as nice to control as a PC actually. The 4 classes all perform various tasks that relate to the growth of your houses you build to get Baldies inside to do stuff. Yeah, perhaps it's not the best when you compare it side by side to something like Command & Conquer, with a great selection of buildings that you can build straight off the bat. But you can still upgrade houses from basic into additional accommodation, or a lab, or a barracks, depending on where you want to go. This is done by having your worker and scientist Baldies wandering around outside, and your soldier Baldies in the barracks making ammo. Of course, you need enough Baldies to keep this all running smoothly, as an underpopulation in certain areas will normally slow up progress, and the more workers you have, say, doing one thing, or the more builders you have focusing on upgrading a building, it'll all start going faster. And all of this sort of combines really well to make a really efficient and yet compacted resource management system that's pretty unique for an RTS. And I genuinely feel that this is where Baldi's big selling point is. It's a pretty unique RTS. You don't just collect a resource, then sweat out a bunch of overpowered units and rush the enemy base. You'll still find yourself on a rush, but the whole thing is presented in a great and light-hearted way. To me, it kind of seems like a bit of a European game, if I can use that sort of term. It's a bit bizarre. It's full of some really quirky stuff, and the kind of art style just makes me think of the Amiga, like, a lot. The game does have some drawbacks, however. It isn't something that I can play for a particularly long time, maybe a level or 2. A lot of the game revolves around micromanaging and, you know, sort of micromanaging all your houses, placing troops, keeping track of where Baldies are and who's out doing what, how many of each class is in which area, whatever have you. Placing traps, researching traps, upgrading buildings. And sometimes the game does have this propensity to get a bit samey. The general premise of this is enough to keep me interested, and after loads of preparation, you're ready to destroy the enemy base. You've got your cow bombs ready, yes, you did hear me right, cow bombs, and plenty of soldiers with wings ready to have a massive charge, humming Ride of the Valkyries as you go. As you watch your Baldies slowly decimate in everything in their path, and when their base, the enemy base, crumbles, you can pat yourself on the back, job well done. Then you realise that you have 99 levels to go. So yeah, I guess it's not really a game that's for everyone, but, you know, maybe you can play a level or 2 at a time in a play session. I guess having said that though, it's really not too bad. I mean, it's one of those great games where you can just pick it up after leaving it for a while and come back to it, and it'll be exactly the same as you sort of remembered it. It won't change too much, like, between levels. And you know, you can get straight back into it without having to redo the tutorial, which I guess is just as well because Baldies doesn't actually have a tutorial. Is this the reason to own a Jaguar CD? Well, it is also on PlayStation, and that is infinitely cheaper than a Jaguar CD when you take into account having to get the Jaguar CD and then get Baldies as well. But by Jaguar standards, the game itself is cheap, and if you're a hardcore enough fan to get the big cat 790 meg tune-up, then I would highly recommend getting this. This game isn't really very well known or particularly spoken about, but I award the game a final rating of must-have/hidden gem. So there you have it, that's my final verdict on this game, and don't worry, there are more Jaguar games coming up soon, as well as a review of the Jaguar CD, which I hope to be getting out by the end of the month, there or thereabouts, depending on how well the Halloween special is going. Oh, no way. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. You take it easy now.